Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Ray. I'm a 26-year-old Canadian documenting his journey to financial freedom. And in this first video, I want to talk about what I believe to be one of the most important milestones one can hit on their path to financial success. And that would be to save your first $10,000. I'm going to talk about exactly how I was able to do that in just under 6 months and how you can do the same. So let's bring it back to December 2025. I'm a full-time college student working as a security guard, living paycheck to paycheck, no money left at the end of the month to invest. And I really sat down with myself and kind of zoomed out to take a look at, where things would go if I stayed on this path, right? Lucky for me, I would finish college without too much student debt and go into a decently high paying career. But I would be starting out with little to nothing invested after wasting some of my early 20s working dead end jobs, not knowing exactly what I wanted to go to college for. And I would come out of college into that career, like I said, with little to nothing invested. And I'd be 28, 29 years old. And that would put me on pace to maybe retire comfortably around age 55, 60 ish. And, that's just something I didn't want. That was like, that was a nightmare scenario for me, right? So I scoured the internet looking for, all the ways I could possibly change that fate for myself and put myself in a position to retire around 40 to 45. And basically that led me to learning everything I possibly could about personal finance and investing. So at the time, I was renting an apartment and rent is crazy here in Ontario. And the apartment was nice, definitely out of my budget. And, that was causing me to be in this paycheck to paycheck trap where all my money was going to supporting my lifestyle, and I had nothing to really invest in to grow for my future. So I decided to really get serious about my finances and my spending habits. So the first thing I did was I eliminated all unnecessary spending. I mean, all unnecessary spending. I didn't go to eat. I didn't buy new clothes, new shoes. Subscriptions got cut, everything, And that was the first big step for me. This allowed me to start saving around 30% of all my income. And then shortly after that, I even downgraded my apartment, cut my rental costs in more than half. And this is where I really started to see at the end of the month I had money left over, right? And that was able to be saved. And I started by I invested about $500. I remember at the start. I just I wanted to get started. I didn't want to wait until I had a nice lump sum of cash to get into the market or whatever. I just got started with that first $500 and I started building my emergency fund month after month. I'd put money away. And then around May, the end of May to June, I finally seen that five figures in my bank account. And guys, like when you first hit that $10,000, it's like a breath of fresh air, like there's a weight lifted off your shoulders. You can cover pretty much any financial emergency that's going to come up. You pretty much have 3 to 6 months of living expenses and just a lot of pressure is taken off. And not only that, but there's a confidence you get when you know that you can kind of put that amount of money in your account. So it gives you confidence moving forward as well. But yeah, that was really the point for me where I could really think about investing now. Because, before I would invest, like I said at the beginning of the year, I invested that $500. And a couple months after that, I invested like another 500. But I was always worried, like, oh, if if something happens, a car breaks down or whatnot, am I gonna have to go into those investments? And that's just not the place you want to be, right? So once I was able to secure that first $10,000, I was able to get serious about investing, and I went ahead and I put $5,000 into my TFSA. For those of you that don't know, in Canada, we have a tax-free savings account, basically a tax-free investment account. But yeah, after investing that first 5 grand and still having thousands left in my savings to cover any emergencies or living expenses, that really gave me a sense of momentum on this journey, right? So if you're someone who's maybe starting at zero or just getting started on your journey, you feel behind or you feel like things aren't going your way. This is just to like let you know how fast things can change if you really put in the work, right? So the first thing you really need to focus on, I don't care how much you're earning. Like I said, I'm just working as a security guard. My income is not that high, right? But at the start, it's really just about you cutting out all unnecessary expenses. And for people living in Canada, especially, that number one expense is going to be your rent or living cost, right? Your accommodation. So I don't know everyone's situation, but if you're able to move in with parents, if you're able to move in with a roommate, you need to do anything you can to get that monthly housing cost down because that's going to free up anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month for you to invest, right? And an extra 500 or $1,000 a month to invest, that's in a compound to, six figures or more over the course of 10 years, right? So it's very important you get that figured out first. Once you have housing figured out, you want to just, make your way down the list of some of the more expensive things that we pay for in our lives, right? So whether that's a car finance, a car note, you need to instantly downgrade. Like if right now you're paying a car note that's more than $300, honestly, try to get out of it any way you can. Go buy a car that's 2 or 3 thousand and just drive it into the ground, right? Any unused subscriptions, like I know people paying $20 a month for YouTube Premium, $15 a month for Spotify, $20 for Netflix. Like the subscriptions are adding up to almost $100 a month. You compound that over 20 years, like come on, guys, right? So it's really simple things at the start, but it does take a lot of discipline and it can be quite discouraging at the start when, you're doing everything you can to save, depriving yourself, and you're just not seeing that number in your account go up as fast as you like. But I promise if you stick to the plan, stay focused, and really commit to tracking your spending, budgeting properly, and making sure you're putting away the amount of money you need to put away every month, no matter what, to get to that goal, you will hit your first $10,000 within 6 months to maybe 1 year, and it'll be extremely rewarding. You have a new sense of confidence. You'll be in a position where you can now fully fund that emergency fund, maybe 5 grand, 3 grand, and you can start to invest aggressively. And from that point, the sky's the limit. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I'm gonna be back very soon on this channel. I'm gonna start a series here where I take you guys every step of the way with me from zero to $100,000 inside of my TFSA. So I'm excited to share the journey with you guys. I'm gonna be, fully transparent throughout the whole thing. Gonna take you guys right into my accounts on screen and show you guys exactly how much I'm investing each month, what I'm investing into, and how I plan to scale that even further as I transition out of college into a full-time career. And really the main goal of this channel is just to, show a realistic, relatable, transparent journey of a young Canadian going from nothing to a place where money isn't a source of stress and, I can live on my own terms. And I feel a lot of young Canadians right now can relate to that, just due to where we are with things in the economy these days. So, yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, hit subscribe, comment below where you are in your journey, and I will see you guys very soon. Thank you.